Volume 63, Otohime and Tiger. So there they are. I will admit, I started reading this volume about 2 weeks ago, and I finished the second half just now, so we'll see how much I remember and how this goes. So we start with the princess hiding in the shark. She's with Luffy, and they're trying to go to the forest of the sea. They're being chased by this crazy guy who wants to marry her. He sends arrows that are kind of like homing beacons, and he attacks Hachi. We find out the princess wants to go to the forest because there's a grave she wants to visit that she's never been to. We don't know who it is yet. Here's crazy guy and all his people. But back at the castle, the king is tied up and the princess is missing, and people start accusing Luffy. And Nami goes, "Our captain would never kidnap anyone. Go suspect somebody else." But it's true. But it's nice that Nami has faith in her captain. Then it cuts to Frankie. He's hanging out with this guy, Den, and we find out that this is Tom's brother. And he makes a comment that Tom and him don't look similar, but he explains that fishermen genetics are different. They don't always look related. And he goes, "By the way, do you have robots somewhere in your lineage? I'm human." So they're talking and catching up, and then we get this guy who's kind of Arlong's successor, and Nami gets freaked out. Luffy comes across Hachi, who's hurt, and then the princess is trying to escape because she comes out of the shark, and she's running away, and Luffy goes, "If you run away, I can't protect you." So there he is, always defending his friends, even if he does think she's wimpy. "Let's go, wimpy." That's what he calls her. So off they go to the forest, and Nami's with Cammy. I think she's going to the forest too. And Zoro's being cool, fighting somebody. I think it's the Arlong successor guy, Captain Hody. Oh, this was a cute SBS. This is the 7 warlords as children. They're so cute. So little. And this chapter was sweet. It's the grand opening of the pet food shop. So they fixed it up and it's all better now. They make it to the forest. Luffy sees Jinbei, who he's been looking for, so he's happy. And we find out the princess wanted to go here because this is where her mom is buried. She'll have much to say after so many years. And then Jinbei has a story to tell. He says, 11 years ago, the one who released Arlong into the East Blue was I. Dun dun dun. So they knew each other. Another chapter. The guy in the treasure chest now has a friend who is in a barrel. But so Nami's there, and she's talking about how Sabodi Park looked like Arlong Park. So she wants to know why it's similar, and Jinbei is explaining. Oh, another chapter. Here's Usopp's crew, and they're getting older too, so that's cool to see. So Jinbei starts telling the story about the queen, and she's very passionate, and she cares about her people. Do you think your children want to be raised on stolen money? So she's helping them have better lives, and she wants a brighter future. She wants the fishmen to get along with humans, so she wants everyone to sign a petition. Here's the princess as a giant baby with her brothers. And cut to Arlong. He's 25. He's almost your age. And he's friends with Jinbei. You find out they grew up in the same orphanage, so all these fishermen were orphans. And they became pirates. And their captain is Tiger. So he tells them, we don't want to go to the humans' level of brutality. We will never kill. That's their rule. So they're off. They think the queen is ridiculous. And then they get this job to bring this human girl back to her hometown. And at first they don't want her, and she used to be a slave, so she's crying, but she's trying to be strong. So let's go, man. We're gonna bring her back home. So she gets cleaned up, gets a haircut. She starts getting along with the crew. They bring her home. But as soon as they do, the humans turn on Captain Tiger and they shoot him. And they don't have the right blood to do transfusion, so he dies. And he says, actually, well, they did have the blood, but it was human blood, and he refused because as much as he wants to be different than humans, he has anger in his heart because you find out he used to be a slave. So he dies. And the queen, after all these years, is still trying to get people to sign her petition. The princess is a little older now. And she just tells her kids, let's promise to make a better future. And she takes people to look at shipwrecks. She teaches classes about the human world. She gives speeches. And Jinbei and Arlong are out on the seas. Oh, and this was cute. This is just a nice drawing of the crew. Oh, this part made me a little emotional. So one of the dragons, eternal dragons, celestial dragons, they come to Fishman Island, and he's being horrible, as they are. And the fishermen are going to attack him and hurt him, and the queen jumps in between and defends him. And she goes, the children are watching. So it just shows that our actions impact our children, and we should act better. She goes with the celestial dragon, and everyone thinks she's gonna die, but the princess shouts, and apparently she can control these Neptunians, and so it's part of a prophecy that a princess will be born with this power. So the queen leaves, she comes back, and she has something signed by the dragons, and she's so happy. Oh, this is so funny. So this guy, he's already making plans to marry the princess way back then, and he goes, all right, time to write the invitations for the wedding. You have to propose to her first, Captain Decken. Oh, I don't have any friends. So there's nobody to write invitations to. But so everyone starts listening to the queen, and now they're all supportive, and they sign her petition. And she's so happy with her kids. She's telling her sons that they need to protect the princess. So they said they will. So she has 3 brothers like me. So that's you, Kevin, and Kenny. Just kidding. But along with the prophecy about the princess, it also says, along with that special mermaid will come one who can guide her to use her power for good. So who could this person be? Maybe Luffy? But so she says, protect your sister, and they say, we will. But she gets shot, and the petitions burst into flames. They don't know who did it, but she still has faith. She says, don't let this become hate in your heart. Soon we'll look upon the real sun. Remember your your promise for a better future. So we'll see if the queen's dream comes true.